Thank you for joining us for Soapbox Daily and episode 73. And we are enjoying, of course, Bad Driver Week, version 1, or volume 1, however you want to say it. Hey, I'm your host, Matt Morgan. Thank you for joining me for Soapbox Daily today. Today, well, it's the midway point. So, hey, happy hump day. And you know what it means when it's happy hump day. When it is the midweek, mid of the week, midpoint, it means this evening we will have Get Off My Soapbox. Yes, our long format show of Get Off My Soapbox. Check that out this evening. You will find that, of course, on your favorite podcast channel, wherever you are. Of course, you could also follow us on getoffmysoapbox.com. Yes, we have all the links there, all the information, FAQ, and contacts. Feel free to check that out. So today, episode 73. Today, we are discussing signs, everywhere signs. That is our topic for today. That's what we're going to discuss. And hey, let me just sing a little for you because we all know this song. Sign, everywhere sign, blocking out the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that. Can't you read the sign? Yeah, I know. Some of your ears are bleeding, but that's not a bad rendition. Seems how I've only been awake for about an hour. So I'm still waking up, still my first cup of coffee. But hey, how are you doing today? How is your integrity been this week? How is your integrity today? Are you starting off on the right foot? Are you being the positive change that the world needs? Well, that's the question for today. Okay, so moving forward, let's get into our show. This is, of course, episode 3 for Bad Driver Week, volume 1. And today, this is an important thing because I've noticed, amongst everything else I noticed about bad drivers out there, I noticed that for some reason, people can't read signs. And I guess the biggest sign I have a big problem with, which some people seem to be so ignorant about and so disillusioned and confused about, is the yield sign. That's the biggest thing that really gets me. So let me just, before we get into the rest of the show, let me just cover a few things here. The yield sign, folks, means if you can actually come across an intersection that has the yield sign, it's pretty much the same as a stop sign. That means the moving traffic has the right of way. They don't have to let you in. You have to stop. You have to stop until traffic is clear or somebody's going to let you in. It is technically kind of like a mild stop sign. Keep that in mind. If you see that yield sign in front of you, that means you stop. The other people don't have to stop. They don't have to let you in. All right. So let's get into today. What are signs all about? Signs are pretty much to tell you what's going on, especially when you're driving. Where you can drive, when, and how fast. These rules keep traffic flowing smoothly and safe. Road rules are important and they need to be followed. But here's the thing, not only the sign color means something, but also the sign shape. The shape kind of corresponds to a sign that you're used to. For instance, the stop sign. The stop sign is an octagon, but if you only see the shape of an octagon and you don't actually see it say stop, or the colors a stop sign usually is, believe it or not, it kind of means the same thing. So you got to keep that in mind. The octagon is always a stop sign. Especially in North America. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of this stuff might change in other parts of the world. There might be some variations in other parts of the world, but we're going to focus on the North American market, and you guys can just translate from there to get the point. But there's important things that need to be, obviously a stop sign we know. It's, in North America, it's red, white letters for stop, and an octagon shape. It's very simple. You need to stop. Just stop. That's it. Or move to the right. It's basically don't go any further. And that's a red sign, an octagon. Now let's look at the blue signs. People are blue signs. What do you mean blue signs? Well, blue signs aren't regulatory signs. Instead, they indicate services you will find on the way. So that's what a blue sign basically is. Basically services. Yellow signs. Now, you gotta remember, the brighter the sign, the more impactful it is. It's designed to give you more information. Obviously, road signs that are a yellow color are usually road signs that alert possible dangers or changes in road conditions. It's bright, catches your attention, boom. That means they may warn you of a narrow bridge, a railroad crossing, a no passing zone, or curves on the road. Stuff like that, but something that's grabbing your attention. Now, we have a new rendition of that, of course, a fluorescent yellow and green. And this is like a new color on the roads. These are designed for pedestrians, cycling, and school crossing signs. They are increasingly used for construction signs as well, because we had to get even brighter. We had to get people's attention more because they were kind of missing the point. So we went from, not just your typical yellow sign to give you a possible road dangers. We're basically saying, hey, there's human lives involved here. So we're going to go like a fluorescent green, yellow to really catch your attention. Boom. All right. Now, here's another sign that, of course, people have a tendency to ignore, especially the kids out there. Kids could be anywhere in age. It depends on your maturity. White traffic signs represent traffic restrictions, such as speed limits that drivers must follow. They also display useful information, such as the highway or state markers highways. I mean, it's important to follow these things. Just so you know, traffic restrictions like a speed limit sign, it's not a suggestion. That's the speed limit. And what I mean by limit is that is how fast technically you're allowed to go by law. Doesn't mean you have to go that fast. Just so people know, for instance, in Canada, we have kilometers an hour. So highways usually say 100 kilometers an hour. But just because somebody decides to do 80, there is like a little bit of a range there. You can go a slower speed, just not in the fast lane. But, you don't always have to push 100. And most people, unfortunately, fluctuate around the 100, up or down 10. But it's those people that go beyond that. Speed limits are there for a reason. To keep you safe, keep other people safe. Follow the speed limits, people. Don't be an idiot. This is why I hope for more traffic police, because it's important. Keep everybody safe on the road. Now, what about brown signs? Brown signs, like blue road signs, are not regulatory signs. Instead, these are signs that they denote areas of recreation and cultural interest. So brown signs, that's basically if you're out and about, you want to, like parks and everything else, I'll give you information on that one. So those don't really have to be that concerned, because hence they're not that bright. Least bright they are, dumbed down they are, and dim they are, they're not supposed to catch your attention. So, but keep in mind, other than colors, shapes are important, regardless of what the words say. And the reason why they do this is for the language barrier. If you know the shape, you know the color, forget about what the words say, you should be able to identify. They do it for a reason. So it's not only about language. People can't use ignorance and saying, hey, I didn't know what that said. You should know shapes and colors mean something. It's important. So, when you're out there driving, follow the rules of the road, because believe it or not, those are laws. And if you don't follow the rules of the road, you can be fined, or you can even do jail time. When it says no U-turn, it means no U-turn. When it means don't turn on a right, don't turn on a right. When it means different things, it means follow the rules. Because yes, you will get fined. You will get jail time. There's a cost to that. Those laws are not subjective to your whim and fancy. That is the way the law is. Those laws apply to everybody. All right. So I wanted to cover that today. Hey, follow the rules of the road. Follow any signs, whether or not it's on the road or not. If a sign says something, you have to follow it. There's a reason for it. There's a law that backs it up, and you're the one that's going to pay for it. But it's designed to keep everybody safe and happy and out of harm's way. I'm going to wrap this up for today. Hey, I'm your host, Matt Morgan. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you tuning in today. Please check us out on Twitter, Twitter at Mad Soapbox. Also, getofmysoapbox.com. Check that out for all information there on all our shows. And also this evening, if you want to tune in, Get Off My Soapbox podcast. Check it out. It's our long format show. I'm pretty sure it'll be another good one. We do our best to give you 110% every time. Have yourself an amazing Wednesday moving forward. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you next episode.